Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're here again, sifting through the noise to get to what matters. And today, we're diving headfirst into artificial intelligence. AI, it's everywhere. Huge potential, obviously. But also, let's be honest, some pretty big fears swirling around it. Our focus today, Sam Altman. He's the CEO of OpenAI. And, well, he just gave this really high-profile talk. It was at a Federal Reserve banking conference, actually. And he gave what's being called a stark assessment of where AI is heading. So that's our mission today. We're going to unpack this kind of dual vision Altman presented. On one hand, AI as maybe humanity's greatest opportunity, but then right alongside that, potentially its most dangerous threat. We'll get into his, frankly, bold claims, look at some pushback from other experts, and try to understand the strategy behind his words.
Right, and just so you know, we're drawing from a news source for this deep dive. It's called Altman's AI Vision: Promise, Peril, and Policy Pushback. It pulls together a lot of different viewpoints on these really complex issues we're talking about.
Okay, let's unpack it then. Altman seems to see this massive shift coming, particularly with jobs. What was his most, maybe startling prediction there?
Yeah, startling is the word. He didn't really hold back. He talked about AI having the potential to, quote, completely obliterate entire sectors of employment. And he wasn't just talking about, jobs changing or shifting. He used the phrase total occupational extinction.
Total occupational extinction.
Right.
Wow. That's intense language.
Yeah.
Did he give any specific examples of what he meant?
He did, yeah. He pointed directly at the customer support industry, said he thinks it'll be totally, totally gone.
Right.
He described this scenario, actually, to Michelle Bowman at the Fed, said something like, you call one of these things and AI answers. It's like a super smart, capable person. There's no phone tree. There's no transfers. It can do everything that any customer support agent at that company could do. It does not make mistakes. It's very quick. You call once and the thing just happens.
That's quite a vision.
Huh.
A bit chilling, maybe, depending on where you sit.
Right.
But hang on, not everyone in the tech world is singing that exact same tune, right?
Yeah.
There's pushback on this idea of just wholesale job elimination.
Oh, absolutely. That's a crucial point. We see figures like Manoj Chaudhary. He's the CTO at Jitterbit, an integration company. And Chaudhary offers a very different take. He argues basically that AI isn't what threatens jobs, but rather poorly planned deployment.
Okay, so it's not the tech itself, but how we use it.
Exactly. His point is, the real danger lies in using powerful tools without purpose or human judgment. He's really pushing for thoughtful implementation strategies and, critically, human oversight. Always keeping humans in the loop. He warns that companies just, chasing quick efficiencies might end up discarding the very human insight that actually drives real value.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and he emphasizes that even the smartest AI systems, they just fall short. Where things like empathy or nuance really matter, his bottom line is pretty strong. Without careful human-led oversight, the consequences of AI misuse will be hard to ignore. It's about responsible rollout, not just capability.
Right, that distinction feels really important. Capability versus thoughtful deployment. Okay, so moving from the job market, Altman also made some incredibly ambitious claims about healthcare, didn't he? This one really caught my eye.
Yes, he did. This was perhaps one of the most provocative things he said. He asserted, and I'm quoting here, ChatGPT today, by the way, most of the time is like a better diagnostician than most doctors in the world.
A better diagnostician than most doctors?
Yeah.
So it's a huge claim.
It is. A massive claim.
But then, here's where it gets really interesting, maybe a bit contradictory. He said that, but then he admitted his own personal hesitation. He actually said something like, yet people still go to doctors. And I am not, maybe I'm a dinosaur here, but I really do not want to, entrust my medical fate to ChatGPT with no human doctor in the loop.
Exactly.
So what do we make of that? He says it's better, but he wouldn't personally trust it with his health. What does that tell us?
Well, it's fascinating, isn't it? It really highlights this gap. The technology might be capable on some level, according to him, but the human elements, trust, judgment, accountability, maybe even just that gut feeling we're clearly not ready, perhaps even he isn't ready, to hand those over entirely.
Yep.
It sort of underscores that even for its biggest proponents, there's a recognition that AI, however advanced, is still a tool, and we're still figuring out the boundaries, especially in really critical areas like health.
Right. Where does the human role stop and the AI begin? It's a huge question.
A fundamental one.
And this isn't just some abstract tech debate, is it? Altman's appearance in Washington, it seems deeply connected to shifts in policy, national security.
Oh, absolutely. Context is everything here. There's been a noticeable shift, particularly around the Trump administration's stance compared to the Biden era. We've moved from a focus that was maybe more on cautious regulation, job protection, towards what's being called aggressive acceleration,
Aggressive acceleration, meaning
meaning a real push to maintain technological superiority, specifically over China. This changes the whole conversation, frames AI development as more of a race.
okay, so within that new environment, that more urgent policy landscape, what were Altman's specific worries?
Well, fitting that context, he voiced pretty strong concerns about AI's potential for weaponization, specifically by adversarial nations targeting, say, American financial infrastructure. That was a key point he made.
Financial infrastructure. Wow.
Yeah, and related to that, he also flagged emerging fraud risks. He specifically mentioned voice cloning technology.
Voice cloning,
I'm
like
here.
faking someone's voice.
Yeah. Exactly, and how it could be used to exploit outdated security systems. He pointed out that, there's still some financial institutions that will accept voice prints for authentication.
So an AI could potentially mimic your voice well enough to bypass security.
That's the fear. If the system relies just on the sound of your voice, and AI can replicate that sound perfectly, well, you see the problem.
Yeah, that's genuinely alarming. Okay, so given this push for speed, these security anxieties, how does this all tie back to OpenAI and Altman's message? What's the strategy?
Well, think about the timing. This congressional appearance is really Altman's biggest moment on that kind of stage since OpenAI just exploded onto the scene in 2023. And it comes just as OpenAI is planning to set up a dedicated office in Washington. That's not a coincidence.
Right, signaling a serious commitment to policy engagement.
Precisely. And what we're seeing really is Altman deploying this very clever dual messaging strategy.
Dual message?
Yeah. He positions OpenAI and, by extension himself, as two things simultaneously. First, as the herald of AI's transformative potential, all the amazing upside. But second, and crucially, as the essential guardian against its risks. The one who understands the dangers and can help navigate them.
So promoting the revolution while also warning about the apocalypse, essentially.
Kind of, yeah. By highlighting both the incredible benefits and the potentially catastrophic dangers, he makes OpenAI seem indispensable.
The indispensable steward.
Exactly. The ones you need to trust to guide humanity through this. It's a way to shape the conversation, maybe influence regulation, and position OpenAI right at the center of it all. The underlying message, when you boil it down, seems clear. Altman believes the only safe path forward is one where OpenAI plays a central role in navigating between AI's promise and its peril. Trust us, basically.
That's a really powerful strategic position to take. Okay, so let's try and bring this together. We've looked at Sam Altman's vision, this future filled with both incredible promise and, frankly, some pretty daunting peril. We heard his predictions, entire industries vanishing, AI maybe outdiagnosing doctors. But we also heard that crucial pushback, the calls for human judgment, careful oversight, thoughtful deployment.
Right, and we layered on top of that the strategic context in Washington, the policy shifts, the security concerns, and how Altman's message fits into that.
So it leaves us with a lot to think about.
Definitely. Maybe something for you, the listener, to consider as you go about your day is this. We're in this race, right? A race for tech dominance, a race to integrate AI everywhere. So where do we draw the line? How do we balance that push for rapid innovation with the need for careful human-led oversight? And maybe even more pointedly, what responsibility do the creators of these incredibly powerful tools have, especially when, as we saw with Altman, even they sometimes express personal hesitation about fully trusting their own creations?
That's a heavy question to end on. Lots to mull over there. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.